Right. I'll call this meeting to order. It is Wednesday, January 29th, 2025, and this meeting is with the Idaho Department of Lands of Understanding Fire Mitigation. This is the MOU for Phase 3, right?
Phase 2.
Phase 2. Okay, I'll turn it over to our fire mitigation, Bill.
So last year we did 50 acres in the Miller's Way area, and while we were doing that, I put in for this another grant, and I noticed we could probably do, like another 30-40 acres in there. Mm-hmm. So I put it in. The state came back and says, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. One of the reasons we were doing that is because it's an isolated community on the river. I don't know, there's probably 40 structures in there, counting outbuildings and everything. The other reason is the Forest Service had a project right next to this project, the thinning, piling, same thing we do, and then burning piles. Mm-hmm. And so the Forest Service agreed to let us go back in, or give us money to go back in and do more work. And then talking this last week with the Forest Service, they're actually going to be doing more work in that area, and it's actually going to be more of a fuel break than a unit that like we do. So with the money they gave us, we can do, I think I figured out at 31 acres we can do, and then by the time I put my wages in it, Colleen's put some wages in there for Colleen and some supplies. We've got it down to, if everything goes the way it should, we'll spend that in the entire amount of $150,000.
Okay, so that's for the that's to do an additional 31 acres of what you've done so far. Right. So it'd be 81 acres, or
about 81 acres.
Okay.
91. There's still a couple landowners in there that say they want us to do some work on their property, but I haven't seen any of the signed paperwork to be able to go on their property and actually do any work.
Okay.
And I filled it, did all my stuff on the paperwork and handed it to them. And I says, well, when you decide and sign it, either you see me up here and hand it back to me, or you can mail it to me at the courthouse in Wallace.
Okay.
And I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. And so the Forest Service has an adjoining project that they're doing right now, and still doing now.
Yeah, they've done the project that they completed. They're planning, in the planning stages of another one, and there's going to be a lot of work around these little communities like Miller's Way, Copper Camp. What's it called now? I remember it as Shoshone Camp because I lived there for 2 summers. Mm-hmm. But things like that, they're trying to, the same thing we're trying to do is mitigate it so there's not loss.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. All right.
Or if there is, very little loss.
So what's the total amount of this grant? The
$150,000.
$150,000. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions?
No.
Commissioner Collins? Oh, I don't either. We'll go ahead and, I reviewed it. Go ahead and sign that one. Yeah, you have more coming, right?
More grants?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just now getting into the grant season.
Grant season, yeah.
And I just brought this along so if you want to look at it. These are some of the grants that just came out this last week. The biggest one is the private property, I think it's called the Private Property Resilience Grant.
Private landowner protection, resilience, and restoration assistance.
That one is $500,000.
Okay.
The other grants, the HFRs, the hazardous fuels grants, and the WFM, the Western Fire Management grants, they usually are about $240,000.
Okay.
I'm going to put in for them. Well, I'll put in for the private property resilient grant and probably another hazardous fuels reduction grant. What I'm afraid of is, and this kind of been rolling in my head, but we're putting in for the CWDG too.
Yep, that's right, the big grant.
And right now, I got it figured out to about $7 million. And if we get that and all these other little grants, we're gonna have to really start pulling to see if we can get some more contractors.
Okay.
And hopefully, with all this grant and all the money, if we get all this money, I won't have to. They'll be coming to me.
Okay. And the state on the CWD grant, that's going through the Idaho Department of Lands, IDL. So they have contractors as well, right? That they know that.
They could suggest. I've had so far this winter. I've had like 4 different people wanting to try to do this work.
Okay.
They've never done it before, but they said they can kind of see where everything's going, and if they can get into it and actually like it and make money at it, they said they'd probably stay with it.
Because right now we only have one, right?
Right.
Okay. We had 3, and then they dwindled down, and the other guy.
Yeah, he went back to work for the Forest Service.
Well, I think it would be probably a lucrative business for people, especially what's happening in California. I can see the fire mitigation, really picking up.
Yeah, and I think to get one of the other things that's going to help, and it's not going to help completely, but it's going to help the homeowners with their homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get in here and protect as many homes as we can. And one thing we will do is if I've done it in the past, is if I have a homeowner call me and tell me their homeowner's insurance is going to be canceled because no mitigation, need fire mitigation. I've actually written letters to the insurance companies saying that they are on the list to have fire mitigation work done. And it would actually, they say, okay, how long before the mitigation's done? And usually I'll move them ahead a little bit. But, you kind of prioritize
Exactly.
which ones are.
I can see that really helping out the insurance companies and really, making sure that it's done properly and the fire mitigation, and, that they would feel more comfortable having, somebody that's knowledgeable come in and assess the fire mitigation.
Yeah, the one home we did was for elderly couple, and we went in there in 2 days, fire mitigated it. I sent the insurance company photos before and after, and they said, good, okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know for some of the public if they do have problems with their insurance companies, if possibly.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, do we need to vote on this MOU for the $150,000? You want to entertain a motion to?
I make a motion to approve Idaho Department of Land's Memorandum of Understanding Fire Mitigation, Miller Way, Phase 2.
Okay. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. The grant for Miller Way, Phase 2 for $150,000 has been approved.
Good. Thank you.
We have any public comment?
No.
No? Okay, do we have any further questions or anything? We got Bill here.
Yeah.
I don't come up here very often.
That's right.
Just be checking your email. I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll have questions along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, and then who knows how busy I'll be after our next. We got to have a meeting tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
with the shared stewardship, but with the Forest Service being involved, the state being involved, and us being involved, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I know the Forest Service, even before the fire, before the LA fire, they're gearing up with the I-90 corridor. And I'm pretty surprised that we've got a lot of.
Yeah, their fuels guy, I know he worked for me when I was there. And then he went and did his thing, and eventually I retired, and he came back to the district, and the fuels guy, Luke Smith, yeah, he's put a lot of time into this, and he's kind of, with all of his fire experience, knows what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's good. Yeah. Okay. All right. No further questions or anything like that. This meeting's adjourned.